Tests 11 and 12 will take place inside the Coliseum here at the Alliant Energy Center in Madison, Wisconsin. Thanks for being with us, everybody. I'm Sean Woodland with Chase Ingram, and Mike Arsenault is down on the competition floor. Test number 11 is the parallel bar pull. They're back.
The parallel bars are back. The sled pull from semifinals are back, and they are extremely heavy. 8 rounds down and back on the P-bars, 30 heavy double unders, and a hand-over-hand pulling section.
Recipe for success is delivered by Trifecta.
4 days, 11 tests, shoulders, biceps, and forearms. Oh my, they're going to be tested here. And the long rope is the tough rope. Look at the length we have on this rope with one of the heaviest sleds we've ever pulled. It's going to be tough on that 5th set.
There will be 10 men out on the competition floor for this first of 2 heats, and a man we didn't expect to see in the opening heat at this portion of the competition is Justin Medeiros. He is in lane 7, and for more on him, let's send it down to Mike Arsenault.
That's right, Sean. The reign of our 2-time defending champion is over. Justin Medeiros in heat number 1 with 2 events remaining, so he will not be defending his title for a 3rd time. He has been a model of consistency during his championship winning years. This year, 3 places of 29th or worse. I talked to him before this event. He's going to enjoy the rest of the competition, and now he's fueled to come back even stronger for 2024.
Noah Olson may not be coming back to individual competition in 2024. This is his 10th straight appearance at the CrossFit Games. He's currently 16th overall. Said he's thinking about going team next year. We're underway. We have to go down and back.
And then we have a parallel bar. Then we have a pirouette on the backside. You can't use your feet for assistance, or you have to start all over again.
And now we get to the 30 double unders with that heavy rope. There's Oldest Ubnig's working through his reps. There are 32 reps per round, 8 rounds total for 256. Will Morad right now is through 26 and counting. He's your early leader along with Lazar Jukic.
Now the halfway point, they extend the rope again. This will be the hardest pull for all the athletes because of the length of the rope that they have to pull. It'll get easier and easier as the sled gets closer, just because it's easier to put tension in the length of that rope.
This is the first sled pull, 345 pounds, 156 kilos. On that sled, they have to pull it to the first red section. And everyone is just about done with that. It was Will Morad, along with Lazar Jukic and Nick Matthew.
And this transfer, or this pirouette, is very challenging, really, because your body is in the way of the turn. A lot of times you'll see pirouettes in the Olympics, and the athletes are inverted, and it's crazy to say that an inverted pirouette is easier than this, but technically, if you have the proficiency, it actually is.
Justin Medeiros is one of the final men to get to that.
And Medeiros just slips up here on the bar. Now, he didn't come down, so he did. He put his feet down, and that's just kind of sums up his weekend.
There's Will Morad, who's your leader, and he has reached the end of his 2nd sled pull. He and Spencer Panchik now, along with Sam Quant, Lazar Jukic, Noah Olson, and Jake Crouch.
This pirouette,
parallel bar traverse.
This pirouette is so quick, and that's such a need. The reason why people slow is they don't have confidence or they get nervous, but a slower pirouette is actually a worse one because you got to sit on one bar all by yourself. And it's a blind turn. You're turning in reverse, so that's another challenge of this pirouette on the parallel bars.
The 95 rep mark is when Will Morad and Spencer Panchik will start their sled pulls. Now they will pull in another section.
And Sean, we talked about at the top, and our recipe for success is we set shoulders, we set biceps, we set forearms and grip. It's not like they haven't had this taxed all weekend long, including this morning, 35 ring muscle ups, bags over the logs. And it's just going to compound round after round. 8 total rounds in this test. Look at the quick turn from Morad. Hand over, hand over. And what I mean by a blind turn is that instead of turning in the direction where you can see where the bar's coming, you don't see that bar on that back turn, which is another little wrinkle in the difficulty of that pirouette.
Spencer Panchik with the right middle of your screen, and Will Morad in the headband. Lazar Jukic as well on the far left. They are your top athletes. Sam Kwon is on the lead pace. Noah Olson's a few reps behind here.
In the last round, Sam Kwon actually had the fastest rope and the fastest pull of the field. So that's where he made up a few seconds on these leaders.
Jukic, Morad, Spencer Panchik, and Sam Kwon all get to the sleds at the same time. Now, after they pull this, the final section, it's got to hit the platform they are sitting on. They'll run the rope down the floor and hook it up to the second sled. So Morad is done, and he will take off along with Spencer Panchik. Now Lazar Jukic is out in front. Sam Kwon, as Morad's fumbling with that rope, and 4 men passed him. Lazar Jukic out in the lead.
Now check this out, Sean. The first pull, they actually have to pull across that black. So once they get across the P-bars and the double unders, not an issue for these athletes. But now we've extended the rope to its full length. You're not going to get as much tension in the rope when you pull. The other part is that the sleds are now sitting in the back rubber portion. There's a lot more friction in that than there's been in the first 4 since they've been on the white part of these mats. So look for that 5th round pull to be the toughest pull of the entire test.
Power your performance with Momentous. Enter to win the ultimate prize pack at livemomentous.com/CrossFit. So Lazar Jukic and Spencer Panchik are on their first sled pull here. Again, 345 pounds, 156 kilos on that implement.
That 5th round is the toughest pull of the entire test. In each round, it's going to get a little bit easier to move that sled aside from the compounding fatigue of the test.
Well, Lazar Jukic, you just saw him on the left side of your screen coming back into view. He's down with his parallel bar traverse, and now for his second set of double unders here on the second sled. The 191 rep mark is when Jukic will go back to the rope and start yet another pull. Will Morad sits in second place, followed by Quant Crouch. Noah Olson still in the top 5. There goes Lazar Jukic on the left side. The only man close to finishing his sled is Will Morad has moved into second place. And Jake Crouch is fighting with Sam Kwant for 3rd. 15-minute time cap here in this test as Jukic goes down and back, no problem on the parallel bars. Now the 223 rep mark, he'll be done. So 30 more heavy rope double unders for the man who comes in 12th place overall with 576 points. 3rd appearance here at the CrossFit Games for Jukic, has finished inside the top 10 the prior 2 times he's been here.
A challenge that heavy rope, it just doesn't give your arms any reprieve at all. It's a harder element. It makes the forearms more taxed, the biceps. But then the heart rate, usually at double unders, these athletes are so well conditioned, it becomes a break time for them, not with a heavy double under.
Lazar Jukic, first man to get to work on his 7th of 8 sled pulls here. Now Will Morad is with him. Jukic sled on the right side of your screen. Will Morad has about 3 more pulls, now 1 more, before he finishes. Jake Crouch has a couple more pulls left. Morad is done as Jukic is back on the parallel bars.
And I think too, Sean, is the parallel bars are one of those things that aren't in the warm-up area that the athletes get to play with. And what you've seen after each consecutive round, their athletes are doing what CrossFit athletes do. They're getting better and better. They're adapting. So each round, they're traversing these things a lot better.
Lazar Jukic just has 1 sled pull remaining. Will Morad on the right side of your screen is in second place. 21 reps back of Jukic. Jukic is done. final sled pull, and then he has to traverse the parallel bars to the finish. Got to make contact with that sled in front of him. He does, and now Lazar Jukic with one final traverse on the parallel bars, and he will have the top time heading into the second and final heat. Lazar Jukic is in. And he will finish with a time of 8 minutes, 30.61 seconds, and now we got a battle between Jake Crouch and Will Morad. Crouch has passed Morad for second. He's back to the parallel bars, and Jake Crouch is in. Justin Medeiros has put on a charge as well. Justin Medeiros is back to the parallel bars. Medeiros is up and over. Justin Medeiros with a late charge comes in third, followed by Olsen, Morad, and then Quant.
And Sean, for Will Morad, I don't know if you guys saw that, but his rope was going over the top of the plates of the sled in front of him. And the problem was, once he got it so close, within about 6 inches, he couldn't actually pull the sled back anymore. And they had to move the rope around the plates to get that second sled to touch the first one.
Uldis Upnix and Spencer Panchik with a close finish there as Panchik just edges him out. Now Nick Matthew is in to close out that heat, but it's Lazar Jukic who sets the top time. 8 minutes, 30 seconds for him.
You think about that's over the course of 8 rounds, so precision is a big element of this. And then that pirouette, you see a lot of the athletes struggled in the first couple of rounds, but once they figured it out, and no one figured it out better than Lazar Jukic, about a minute and 4 seconds around